In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, where countless species vie for supremacy, one race stands out for its unique ability to adapt and evolve: the Kroot. These avian-descended humanoids have not only survived, but thrived in a galaxy torn apart by endless conflict, carving out a niche that defies easy categorization. At first glance, these beings might appear primitive, with their tribal structure and seemingly basic technology. However, this superficial assessment belies their true nature as one of the most versatile and potentially dangerous species in the galaxy. Their evolution-centric biology allows them to rapidly adapt to new environments and assimilate the genetic traits of their prey, making them a constantly evolving threat to their enemies and a valuable, if unpredictable, ally to their friends. Originating from the dense jungles of Pech, their homeworld, these carnivorous warriors have spread across the stars, primarily as mercenaries aligned with the Tau Empire. Yet, their relationship with the Tau is one of convenience rather than true allegiance. The Kroot value their independence fiercely, and their ultimate loyalty lies with their own kind and the pursuit of genetic advancement. Their society revolves around Kindreds, led by Shapers who guide the evolutionary path of their people. These Shapers possess an innate understanding of genetic manipulation, selecting prey and guiding consumption to steer the development of their kin. This practice has led to a dizzying array of subspecies, each adapted to specific environments or roles, from lithe scout forms to hulking brutes capable of going toe-to-toe with space marines. The true power of these Xenos lies not in their current capabilities, but in their potential. While the Imperium of man stagnates, clinging to ancient technologies and dogma, and even the mighty Astartes remain limited by their rigid genetic template, the Kroot are in a state of constant flux and improvement. Every battle, every meal, every new world they encounter offers an opportunity for growth and adaptation. This evolutionary arms race extends beyond mere physical attributes. The species has demonstrated a remarkable ability to assimilate and replicate advanced technology through their consumption practices. There are whispered reports of kindreds that have developed rudimentary psychic abilities, or even limited warp manipulation after feeding on appropriate subjects, though such claims are often dismissed as Xenos propaganda by Imperial authorities. Their mercenary nature has allowed them to spread far and wide across the galaxy, exposing them to a vast array of potential genetic sources. From the teeming horde worlds of the Tyranids to the ancient Necron tomb worlds, from orc-infested planets to the demon-racked realms of the Eye of Terror, there is hardly a corner of the known universe where one cannot find at least a small band of these opportunistic warriors. This widespread presence has not gone unnoticed by the major powers of the galaxy. The Inquisition, ever vigilant against Xenos threats, has long monitored their activities with growing concern. Some radical inquisitors even advocate for their complete eradication, fearing that if left unchecked, they might one day evolve into a force capable of challenging humanity's dominion over the stars. Yet, for all their potential, these avian humanoids face significant challenges. Their fragmented society and mercenary lifestyle make it difficult for them to amass the resources and unity needed to truly challenge the dominant powers of the galaxy. Moreover, their very adaptability can be a double-edged sword, with some kindreds devolving into mindless beasts after consuming tainted flesh or falling prey to more insidious forces like genestealer cults. As the 41st millennium draws to a close and the galaxy plunges ever deeper into chaos and conflict, the role of these adaptive warriors becomes increasingly pivotal. Will they remain mere spectators and occasional participants in the great game of galactic dominion, or will they seize this time of upheaval to propel themselves to new evolutionary heights? Their path forward is as unpredictable as their ever-changing genome. Some far-sighted individuals within the Tau Empire see them as a potential key to understanding and harnessing the power of biological adaptation on a grand scale. Others, particularly among the more conservative elements of the Imperium, view them as an abomination that must be purged before it can fully realize its terrifying potential. Regardless of how the wider galaxy perceives them, one thing is certain. In a universe where stagnation often leads to extinction, their unparalleled capacity for adaptation ensures that they will continue to survive and evolve. As empires rise and fall, as whole sectors are consumed by war or cosmic calamity, these resourceful beings will endure, changing and growing with each new challenge they face. The story of this species is far from over. Indeed, it is constantly being rewritten, one genetic assimilation at a time. In the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war, they stand as a testament to the power of adaptation and the unyielding will to survive. The galaxy watches with bated breath to see what they will become next and what role they will play in the conflicts to come. The primordial jungles of Pech, a world teeming with life and untamed wilderness, gave birth to these remarkable beings. Eons ago, their ancestors were simple avian creatures, not unlike the great birds of prey found on countless worlds across the galaxy. However, the harsh environment of their homeworld demanded more than mere instinct and physical prowess to survive. Over millennia, these proto-Kroot developed rudimentary intelligence, using simple tools and hunting in packs. The turning point in their evolution came when they began to consume the flesh of their prey, not just for sustenance, but for genetic material. This seemingly insignificant change in behavior would set them on a path to become one of the most adaptable species in the known universe. As they assimilated the traits of their prey, these early ancestors rapidly evolved. Their bodies grew larger, their minds sharper, and their social structures more complex. Within a relatively short span of evolutionary time, they had transformed from simple predators into sentient beings capable of abstract thought and technological innovation. The discovery of fire marked another pivotal moment in their history. It allowed them to cook their food, inadvertently unlocking new genetic potential in their prey. This culinary revolution accelerated their evolution exponentially, leading to the development of diverse subspecies adapted to various ecological niches on Pech. As their civilization advanced, so did their understanding of their unique biology. The wisest among them, who would later be known as Shapers, began to guide the evolutionary path of their kindreds. They selected specific prey and engineered hunting grounds to cultivate desired traits in their offspring. The first contact with off-world species came as a shock to their developing society. A group of human explorers, possibly pre-imperial rogue traders, landed on Pech millennia ago. This encounter opened their eyes to the vastness of the galaxy and the potential prey it held. Some kindreds saw the newcomers as a threat and attacked, while others sought to learn and trade. Those who consumed the flesh of the humans gained insights into advanced technology and galactic civilization. This event sparked a great debate among the Shapers about the future direction of their species. Some advocated for isolation to preserve their unique culture, while others pushed for expansion into the stars. The expansionists eventually won out, and groups of these adaptive warriors began to leave Pech, hitching rides on passing starships or commandeering vessels for themselves. These early voyagers spread across nearby systems, encountering new species and assimilating their traits. Their mercenary nature emerged during this period of expansion. Lacking a unified government or the resources to build a true interstellar empire, they instead offered their services as warriors and scouts to various Xenos races and human factions. This pragmatic approach allowed them to travel widely and gain access to a diverse array of genetic material. The arrival of the Tau in their region of space marked another turning point. The ambitious young empire saw the potential in these adaptable warriors and offered them a place within their expanding sphere of influence. Many kindreds accepted, seeing the arrangement as an opportunity for new experiences and prey. However, this alliance was not without its tensions. The Tau's strict dietary regulations clashed with the carnivorous instincts and evolutionary needs of their new allies. Compromises were made, with certain kindreds agreeing to limit their consumption practices in exchange for technology and protection. Throughout their history, they have faced numerous challenges to their way of life. The ever-present threat of devolution looms large, with kindreds that consume tainted or incompatible flesh risking regression into mindless beasts. To combat this, Shapers have developed complex rituals and taboos surrounding consumption, guiding their people away from potentially harmful evolutionary paths. The Imperium of Man, upon discovering the full extent of their abilities, launched several purges against their worlds. These conflicts, while devastating, also provided opportunities for rapid evolution as they assimilated traits from some of the galaxy's most elite warriors. In recent centuries, their mercenary bands have participated in conflicts across the galaxy, from the Damocles Gulf Crusade to the defense of Ultramar against Hive Fleet Behemoth. Each battle has added new chapters to their species' history and new strands to their ever-evolving genome. As the 41st millennium draws to a close, they stand at a crossroads. The galaxy is changing rapidly, with ancient threats re-emerging and new powers rising. Some Shapers see this time of upheaval as an unprecedented opportunity for growth and expansion. Others warn of the dangers of overreaching, fearing that their species might lose its identity in the pursuit of ever greater genetic diversity. The future remains unwritten, but one thing is certain. As long as there is life in the galaxy, these adaptive warriors will continue to evolve, assimilate, and thrive. Their history is far from over. Indeed, many believe that their greatest chapters are yet to be written. Genetic assimilation stands at the core of their unique biology. This extraordinary ability allows them to absorb and integrate genetic material from consumed prey, incorporating beneficial traits into their own genome. This process goes beyond mere digestion. It's a complex biological mechanism that analyzes, selects, and incorporates useful genetic sequences. The speed of this adaptation is remarkable. Within a single generation, offspring can exhibit traits from recently consumed species. This rapid evolution allows them to quickly adapt to new environments and threats, giving them a significant advantage in the ever-changing landscape of galactic warfare. Their physical appearance reflects this adaptability. While they generally maintain a humanoid form, individual warriors can exhibit a wide range of features depending on their genetic history. Some may have scales, others might possess extra limbs or heightened senses. This diversity extends to their internal biology as well, with some developing poison glands, reinforced bone structures, or even rudimentary psychic abilities. Shapers play a crucial role in guiding this evolutionary process. These spiritual leaders possess an innate understanding of genetics, honed through generations of observation and experimentation. They direct the hunting and feeding habits of their kindred, ensuring that beneficial traits are acquired while avoiding potentially harmful genetic material. The Shaper's knowledge is preserved and passed down through oral traditions, encoded in complex songs and stories. These narratives not only serve as a historical record, but also contain detailed information about various species and their genetic potential. This oral tradition allows for the rapid dissemination of new genetic information across kindreds. Their sensory capabilities often surpass those of many other species. Enhanced vision, acute hearing, and a highly developed sense of smell aid them in hunting and warfare. Some kindreds have even developed the ability to see into different spectrums of light or detect electrical impulses, abilities assimilated from various alien species. Their digestive system is remarkably efficient and adaptable. It can process a wide range of organic matter, extracting nutrients and genetic material from sources that would be inedible or even toxic to other species. This allows them to survive in environments where other races might starve, further enhancing their adaptability. Muscle density and bone structure vary greatly among different kindreds. Some develop immense strength and durability, capable of going toe-to-toe with orc knobs or space marines. Others evolve towards agility and speed, becoming perfect scouts and assassins. This physical diversity allows them to fill various combat roles effectively. Their reproductive cycle is tied closely to their feeding habits. After consuming genetically rich material, females can enter a rapid breeding cycle, producing offspring that incorporate the new genetic traits. This allows for quick population growth and rapid adaptation to new environments or threats. Longevity varies widely among individuals and kindreds. Some may live for only a few decades, while others, particularly those who have consumed long-lived species, can survive for centuries. This variation in lifespan contributes to the diversity of experience and knowledge within their society. Their neural plasticity is exceptional, allowing for rapid learning and adaptation. This cognitive flexibility enables them to quickly master new technologies or fighting techniques encountered during their mercenary activities. It also aids in their ability to integrate into various alien cultures when necessary. Pheromone communication supplements their verbal language, allowing for subtle, undetectable exchanges of information. This silent communication is particularly useful in hunting and warfare, enabling coordinated actions without alerting prey or enemies. Some kindreds have developed symbiotic relationships with other life forms. These range from beneficial gut bacteria that aid in genetic assimilation to larger organisms that serve as mounts or weapons. These symbiotes often evolve alongside their hosts, creating unique and deadly combinations. Their immune system is highly advanced, capable of rapidly adapting to new pathogens. This resilience makes them valuable in exploring new, potentially hostile environments. However, it also means they can be carriers of diseases that are deadly to other species, a fact that has led to their quarantine on many Imperial worlds. The ability to enter a state of suspended animation allows them to survive extreme conditions. Some kindreds can slow their metabolic processes to near zero, enabling survival during long space voyages or periods of extreme scarcity. This trait, likely assimilated from cold-adapted species, has proven invaluable in their expansion across the galaxy. Their psychological makeup is as adaptable as their physical form. They can assimilate not just physical traits, but also instincts and even fragmentary memories from consumed prey. This sometimes results in individuals with insights into alien cultures or technologies gleaned from the genetic memory of their food. Camouflage abilities vary widely between kindreds. Some can change skin color and texture to blend with their surroundings, while others develop natural armor or spines for protection. These adaptations reflect the diverse environments they have encountered and conquered. Their social structure, based around kindreds and led by shapers, is remarkably resilient and adaptable. It allows for rapid decision-making and resource allocation, crucial in the fast-paced theater of galactic warfare. This flexibility enables them to function effectively, whether as small mercenary bands or larger tribal groups. The diversity within their species is staggering. No two kindreds are exactly alike, each having evolved to suit their specific environment and role. This diversity is both their greatest strength and a potential weakness, as it can lead to conflicts between different kindreds with opposing adaptations or ideologies. In the intricate tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, these avian warriors occupy a unique niche. Their adaptability and mercenary nature allow them to interact with various factions, making them both valuable allies and potential threats to the established powers of the galaxy. Within the Tau Empire, they serve as auxiliary forces, providing much-needed close combat expertise to the Tau's ranged-focused military. This alliance, while mutually beneficial, is not without tension. The Tau's strict dietary regulations and emphasis on the greater good often clash with the carnivorous instincts and independent nature of their allies. Their relationship with humanity is complex and varied. To most Imperial citizens, they represent an alien threat, no different from the countless Xenos races that threaten the Imperium. However, some rogue traders and less orthodox Imperial commanders have been known to employ their services, valuing their tracking and combat skills. Inquisitors of the Ordo Xenos study them with a mix of fascination and dread. Their ability to rapidly evolve and adapt poses a unique challenge to Imperial containment strategies. Some radical inquisitors even seek to harness this power for humanity's benefit, although such endeavors are highly controversial and often end in disaster. In the eyes of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they represent a biological marvel. Their natural ability to assimilate and improve upon genetic traits mirrors the Mechanicus's own quest for enhancement through technology. Some tech priests secretly study captured specimens, hoping to unlock the secrets of their adaptive biology. Among the various orc clans, these avian warriors are respected as worthy opponents. Their ability to match the orcs' physical strength, coupled with their superior tactical acumen, has led to many legendary battles between the two races. Some orc war bosses actively seek them out for the thrill of combat. The Eldar view them with a mix of disdain and caution. While considering them primitive, the Eldar recognize the potential threat posed by their rapid evolution. Farseers often weave complex schemes to redirect or contain kindreds that threaten to upset their carefully laid plans. For the Tyranids, they represent both a challenge and an opportunity. Their adaptive biology makes them resilient to the usual Tyranid tactics of overwhelming force. However, successfully assimilating their genetic material could provide the hive mind with powerful new adaptations. Necron lords, in their rare moments of lucidity, see these evolving warriors as a curiosity. Their constantly changing nature stands in stark contrast to the Necrons' unchanging metallic forms. Some Necron dynasties have attempted to capture and study them, seeking to understand the biological processes that drive their evolution. The forces of chaos view them as potential converts or useful pawns. Their adaptability makes them resilient to some forms of corruption, but also potentially receptive to the gifts of the Chaos Gods. Kindreds that consume chaos-tainted flesh risk falling under the sway of the ruinous powers. In the grand narrative of the Dark Millennium, they often play the role of wild cards. Their mercenary bands can tip the balance of power in local conflicts, while their potential for rapid evolution keeps the larger factions wary of their growing influence. Their presence has been noted in many of the galaxy's most significant conflicts. During the Damocles Gulf Crusade, they fought alongside the Tau, providing crucial support against the Imperial forces. In the defense of Ultramar against Hive Fleet Behemoth, some kindreds allied with the Ultramarines, recognizing the Tyranids as a threat to all life in the galaxy. The Third Sphere. Expansion of the Tau Empire saw them spreading to new regions of space, encountering and assimilating traits from previously unknown Xenos species. This period of growth has led to increased diversity among their kind, with new and exotic adaptations appearing in mercenary bands across the galaxy. In the wake of the Great Rift's formation, their adaptability has proven crucial. Kindreds trapped in warp-tainted regions have evolved new defenses against chaotic corruption, while those in realms cut off from the Astronomicon have developed enhanced navigation abilities. Their role in the galaxy continues to evolve. As traditional power structures are shaken by recent events, they find new opportunities for expansion and evolution. Some shapers see the current turmoil as a chance to elevate their species to new heights, possibly even challenging the dominance of the major factions. The Imperium's ongoing conflicts with Chaos and Xenos threats have created power vacuums in various sectors. Opportunistic kindreds have moved into these areas, establishing new hunting grounds and evolving to suit these new environments. This expansion has not gone unnoticed, with several Imperial crusades launched to contain their spread. In the Eastern Fringe, their close association with the Tau has led to technological exchanges. While they generally prefer biological solutions, some kindreds have begun incorporating Tau technology into their warfare, creating unique hybrid weapons and equipment. Their presence in the Ghoul Stars remains a mystery. Rumors speak of kindreds that have evolved far beyond recognition, adapting to the strange and hostile conditions of this little-understood region of space. Imperial explorators who venture into the area often report encounters with beings that seem to blend Kroot and Xenos traits in impossible ways. As the storylines of Warhammer 40,000 continue to unfold, their potential for evolution ensures that they will remain a dynamic and unpredictable element in the galaxy's future. Whether they will rise to become a major power, fall to the corrupting influences that plague the galaxy, or continue to adapt and survive in the margins remains to be seen. The mercenary nature of these adaptive warriors brings them into frequent contact with various factions and races across the galaxy. Their interactions range from mutually beneficial alliances to bitter conflicts, often shaped by their ever-evolving biology and cultural practices. In their dealings with the Tau Empire, they serve as close combat specialists, complementing the Tau's ranged warfare tactics. This symbiotic relationship extends beyond the battlefield, with some kindreds adopting aspects of Tau technology and philosophy. However, tensions arise from their carnivorous practices, which conflict with Tau ideals. Ethereals often struggle to balance the military benefits of their alliance with the cultural challenges it presents. Encounters with Imperial forces vary widely. Rogue traders sometimes employ them as trackers and scouts, valuing their adaptability in exploring unknown worlds. However, such arrangements are fraught with danger, as Imperial authorities view these interactions as heretical. Some Inquisitors secretly study captured specimens, seeking to understand and potentially weaponize their rapid evolution. Their interactions with orcs are primarily violent but tinged with mutual respect. Orc war bosses see them as worthy opponents, often targeting their enclaves for the thrill of battle. This constant conflict has led some kindreds to develop orc-like traits, becoming bulkier and more aggressive. Shapers carefully manage these adaptations, wary of the fine line between beneficial traits and devolution. Eldar interactions are complex and often shrouded in mystery. Farseers sometimes manipulate events to pit them against mutual enemies, using their adaptability as a tool in the Eldar's long-term plans. Some Corsairs have been known to trade with or even temporarily ally with mercenary bands, though such arrangements are rare and viewed with suspicion by both sides. Their encounters with Tyranids are particularly significant. The adaptive nature of both species creates a unique dynamic on the battlefield. Kindreds that survive Tyranid encounters often develop potent new defenses, while the hive mind constantly evolves new strategies to counter their unpredictable biology. Some Shapers actively seek out Tyranid remnants, seeing their genetic material as a valuable resource despite the inherent risks. Necron dynasties view them with detached curiosity. Some Cryptex study captured specimens, fascinated by their organic adaptability, a trait long lost to the Necrons. Occasional alliances form against mutual threats, though the vast cultural gulf between the species limits long-term cooperation. Chaos forces present a unique challenge. Their adaptive physiology provides some resistance to chaotic corruption, but also makes them susceptible to more subtle influences. Kindreds that consume chaos-tainted flesh risk falling to the ruinous powers, spawning twisted offshoots that blend their adaptability with chaotic mutations. Shapers maintain strict taboos around such encounters, but the lure of power sometimes proves too strong for ambitious individuals. Their interactions with other minor Xenos species are opportunistic and varied. They often serve as mercenaries in conflicts between lesser-known races, using these engagements as opportunities to sample new genetic material. This practice has led to the development of numerous specialized kindreds, each adapted to unique battlefield roles or environments. Genestealer cults view them as both a threat and an opportunity. Their ability to rapidly evolve poses a challenge to the cult's infiltration tactics. However, some cult leaders see their adaptive biology as a potential boon, attempting to incorporate their genetic malleability into the cult's bloodline. These efforts often result in unstable hybrids, creatures of terrible potency but questionable loyalty. In the realm of commerce, they interact with various species through their mercenary work. Some kindreds have developed a keen understanding of galactic economics, trading not just their martial skills, but also exotic biological samples and the secrets of controlled evolution. This has led to the establishment of hidden markets where wealthy clients from across the galaxy seek to acquire unique genetic traits or evolutionary techniques. Their expeditions into uncharted space bring them into contact with unknown horrors and wonders. Kindreds returning from the galactic fringes often exhibit bizarre adaptations, sparking both excitement and concern among their kin. These encounters sometimes lead to the discovery of new species or lost human colonies, altering the balance of power in entire sectors. The Adeptus Mechanicus maintains a particular interest in their biology. Some tech priests see their natural adaptability as a parallel to mechanical augmentation, studying them in hopes of developing new forms of bionic enhancement. This research is highly controversial within the Mechanicus, with traditionalists decrying it as tech heresy. Their interactions with planetary ecosystems are often profound and lasting. Kindreds introduced to new worlds as mercenaries or scouts can significantly alter local food chains. Some Imperial worlds have suffered ecological collapse following their introduction, leading to increased scrutiny of their movements by Imperial authorities. In the political sphere, their mercenary bands sometimes become unwitting pawns in complex galactic intrigues. Their actions can tip the balance of power in regional conflicts, leading to unforeseen consequences that ripple across the galaxy. Some Shapers have begun to recognize this influence, seeking to leverage it for the long-term benefit of their species. As psychic awakenings spreads across the galaxy, their interactions with the warp are evolving. Some kindreds have developed limited psychic abilities, opening new avenues for both power and peril. This emergent psychic potential has drawn the attention of various factions, from Eldar Farseers to Chaos Sorcerers, each seeking to manipulate or harness this new evolutionary direction. Their role in the galaxy continues to expand and evolve, shaped by countless interactions with the diverse elements of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. As they adapt and change, so too does their place in the complex web of galactic politics and warfare, ensuring their continued significance in the unfolding drama of the Dark Millennium. At the heart of their society lies the Kindred, a tight-knit community bound by shared genetic heritage and evolutionary path. Each Kindred functions as a distinct social and military unit, led by a Master Shaper who guides both their biological development and cultural practices. Master Shapers stand at the apex of the Kindred hierarchy. These venerable individuals possess an innate understanding of genetic manipulation honed through generations of experience. They direct the evolutionary course of their kindred, selecting prey and guiding consumption patterns to cultivate desired traits. Their authority is absolute, stemming from their crucial role in ensuring the kindred's survival and advancement. Beneath the Master Shaper are Lesser Shapers, each overseeing specific aspects of the kindred's development. These may include Hunt Shapers, who coordinate hunting expeditions and assess potential prey, War Shapers, who specialize in developing combat-oriented traits, and Lore Shapers, who maintain the oral traditions and genetic knowledge of the kindred. Warriors form the bulk of each kindred, divided into various specialized roles based on their genetic adaptations. Carnivores serve as frontline troops, their physiology optimized for close combat. Hunters excel in stealth and ranged warfare, often serving as scouts and snipers. Trackers possess enhanced sensory abilities, crucial for navigation and locating prey in varied environments. The adaptable nature of their biology allows for rapid shifts in social structure. As kindreds evolve new traits, new roles and hierarchies emerge to accommodate these changes. This fluidity ensures their society remains as adaptable as their physical forms. Intertwined with the martial hierarchy is a complex system of family units. These extended family groups, often spanning several generations, form the basic social fabric of the kindred. Elders within these units hold significant influence, their experience and genetic legacy respected by younger members. Reproduction within the kindred is carefully managed by the Shapers. Mating pairs are often selected based on their genetic compatibility, and the traits the Shapers wish to cultivate in future generations. This practice of selective breeding, combined with their ability to incorporate traits from consumed prey, allows for rapid and directed evolution. The concept of leadership beyond the Shaper caste is fluid and merit-based. Individuals who demonstrate exceptional abilities or beneficial mutations may rise to positions of authority, regardless of their original status within the kindred. This meritocracy ensures a constant influx of new ideas and adaptations into the leadership structure. Inter-kindred relations add another layer of complexity to their social structure. While each kindred operates autonomously, there exists a loose confederation among them. Gatherings of master shapers from multiple kindreds occur periodically, allowing for the exchange of genetic material, knowledge, and resources. These meetings often determine the broader direction of their species' evolution. Within this confederation, certain kindreds hold greater influence due to their unique adaptations or control over valuable resources. These dominant kindreds often attract smaller groups seeking protection or access to new genetic lineages, creating a dynamic similar to feudal vassalage. The mercenary lifestyle adopted by many kindreds has led to the development of specialized roles within their society. Contract negotiators, skilled in interacting with other species, hold significant sway in determining which conflicts a kindred will engage in. These individuals often develop unique adaptations suited for diplomacy and cross-species communication. Religious and spiritual beliefs vary widely between kindreds, but generally center around the concept of genetic purity and evolutionary progress. Spiritual leaders, sometimes distinct from shapers, interpret omens and visions to guide their kindred's path. These beliefs often manifest in rituals surrounding hunting, consumption, and mating practices. Education within the kindred focuses on honing innate abilities and understanding one's place in the evolutionary cycle. Young members undergo rigorous training, not just in combat and survival skills, but also in the lore of their species and the genetic histories of their ancestors. The treatment of genetic deviance within their society is a contentious issue. Individuals who develop unfavorable mutations are often ostracized or, in extreme cases, culled to prevent the spread of detrimental traits. However, some kindreds have begun to see value in preserving a diverse gene pool, establishing sanctuary enclaves for those with unique, if not immediately beneficial, adaptations. Their interactions with technology, particularly that of more advanced races, have led to the emergence of new social roles. Tech adapters, individuals who specialize in understanding and incorporating alien technology into their kindred's arsenal, have gained prominence. These specialists often develop unique physical adaptations suited to interfacing with various technological systems. The structure of mercenary bands, often composed of warriors from multiple kindreds, presents unique challenges to their traditional hierarchy. These mixed groups develop their own internal structures, blending traditions and adapting leadership roles to suit their diverse composition. Successful mercenary leaders often gain influence that extends beyond their original kindreds, sometimes rivaling that of shapers. As their species continues to evolve and spread across the galaxy, new forms of social organization are emerging. Some kindreds, exposed to the varied cultures of the galaxy, have begun experimenting with hybrid social structures, incorporating elements from other species into their own. This cultural evolution runs parallel to their biological adaptations, ensuring that their society remains as dynamic and resilient as their physical forms. Their approach to technology is unique, blending biological adaptation with selective use of advanced devices. This hybrid approach allows them to maintain their evolutionary edge while benefiting from the technological achievements of other races. Central to their technological arsenal is the iconic Kroot rifle. This weapon, a fusion of their craftsmanship and assimilated knowledge, is more than just a firearm. It serves as a cultural symbol, often passed down through generations and modified to suit the specific adaptations of its wielder. The rifle's design incorporates organic components, making it a literal extension of the user's body. Ammunition for these rifles showcases their innovative approach. They've developed various types of specialized rounds, including toxin-coated projectiles that leverage their understanding of xenobiology. Some kindreds have even engineered ammunition that carries genetic material, allowing for limited DNA transfer to targets, a terrifying prospect for their enemies. Their spacecraft technology, while limited, demonstrates remarkable adaptability. Unable to independently develop advanced warp drives, they've instead focused on modifying and repurposing vessels from other races. These hybrid ships often incorporate organic components, with some reports describing vessels that appear to grow and heal like living organisms. In ground warfare, they employ a variety of primitive yet effective devices. Traps and snares, often bioengineered to blend seamlessly with the environment, showcase their expertise in guerrilla tactics. These devices range from simple pitfalls to complex, genetically modified plants that react to intruders. Their metallurgy, while not as advanced as that of the Imperium or Tau, has its own unique characteristics. They've developed techniques to infuse metals with organic compounds, creating materials with properties that shift and adapt to different conditions. This living metal is used in armor and weapons, providing protection that evolves in response to enemy attacks. Communication technology among their kind relies heavily on biological adaptations. While they use vox casters and other conventional devices when necessary, many kindreds have developed specialized organs for long-distance communication. These biovox organs can transmit and receive complex messages across vast distances, often undetectable by standard Imperial scanning equipment. In the realm of genetic manipulation, their technology is unparalleled. Shapers employ a variety of tools and techniques to analyze and modify genetic material. These range from simple ritualistic preparations of consumed flesh to complex biovats used for accelerated gene splicing. The full extent of this technology is jealously guarded, with outsiders rarely granted access to these secrets. Their approach to medical technology focuses on accelerating and guiding natural healing processes. Instead of cybernetic replacements, they use genetically modified tissues and organs for transplants. Some kindreds have developed symbiotic organisms that act as living medical aids, attaching to wounded warriors to accelerate healing and fight infections. In terms of defense technology, they've developed unique biological shields. These living barriers, grown from genetically modified tissues, can absorb and adapt to different types of energy weapons. Reports from Imperial forces describe these shields evolving in real time during battles, becoming increasingly resistant to repeated attacks. Their interactions with Tau technology have led to interesting hybridizations. Some kindreds have incorporated Tau energy weapons into their own biology, developing organic power sources to fuel these devices. This melding of flesh and technology represents a new frontier in their evolution, blurring the line between natural adaptation and artificial enhancement. While not traditionally psychic, recent developments have seen some kindreds exploring this realm. They've begun experimenting with devices that amplify latent psychic abilities, often incorporating materials from psychically active species they've encountered. These early forays into psychic technology are viewed with both excitement and caution by their leaders. In the field of stealth technology, they've made significant strides. By studying and consuming chameleonic species, some kindreds have developed advanced camouflage abilities. This natural cloaking is sometimes augmented with technology, creating infiltrators that can pass undetected through even the most sophisticated security systems. Their data storage methods are a unique blend of technology and biology. Instead of relying solely on electronic databases, many kindreds use genetically modified organisms as living data repositories. These bioarchives can store vast amounts of information in their DNA, accessible only to those with the correct biological or technological keys. Transportation technology among their kind often favors biological solutions. Beast of burden creatures genetically modified for specific environments are common. Some kindreds have developed symbiotic relationships with massive, spacefaring creatures, using these living ships for interstellar travel in lieu of traditional spacecraft. In siege warfare, they've developed unique biological weapons. Spore-based explosives, capable of rapidly growing into dense, impenetrable thickets, are used to create instant fortifications or block enemy advances. These living barriers can be pre-programmed with specific growth patterns, allowing for complex, evolving defensive structures. Their experimentation with orc technology has yielded interesting results. Some kindreds have successfully incorporated the orc's psychic field technology, developing weapons and tools that function on a similar principle of collective belief. This technology, while powerful, is notoriously unstable and used only by the most daring or desperate kindreds. In the realm of information gathering, they've developed unique sensory augmentation technologies. Bioengineered sensory organs, capable of detecting a wide range of electromagnetic and chemical signatures, are often implanted in scouts and spies. These augmentations allow for the gathering of intelligence far beyond the capabilities of standard equipment. As their understanding of genetics and technology continues to evolve, so too does their potential to reshape the galaxy. The fusion of their adaptive biology with advanced technology represents a new paradigm in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, one that could potentially challenge the dominance of even the most established factions. Their culture revolves around the central tenet of evolutionary progress. Every aspect of their society, from daily rituals to grand strategies, is geared towards the advancement and diversification of their genetic legacy. This obsession with evolution permeates their art, religion, and social structures. Rituals of consumption form the cornerstone of their cultural practices. The act of eating is not merely for sustenance, but a sacred rite of assimilation and growth. Elaborate ceremonies surround the selection and preparation of prey, with shapers presiding over these events to ensure the purity and potency of the genetic material being incorporated. Their artistic expressions often take the form of body modifications and living sculptures. Warriors proudly display their evolutionary achievements through intricate scarification and organic implants. These bodily adornments serve as a visual record of a kindred's genetic journey, with each modification telling a story of adaptation and conquest. Oral traditions play a crucial role in preserving their history and genetic knowledge. Lore keepers, respected members of each kindred, memorize vast catalogs of genetic information, recounting tales of successful hunts and evolutionary leaps. These stories are not mere entertainment, but serve as practical guides for future adaptations. Their language is as adaptable as their bodies, incorporating sounds and concepts assimilated from consumed species. This linguistic flexibility allows them to communicate complex genetic and evolutionary ideas with remarkable precision. Some kindreds have developed specialized dialects used exclusively for discussing advanced genetic theories. The concept of individuality among their kind is fluid and closely tied to their evolutionary state. While personal achievements are recognized, the ultimate measure of an individual's worth is their contribution to the genetic advancement of the kindred. This collective mindset fosters a culture of self-sacrifice for the greater evolutionary good. Religious beliefs center around the worship of ancestral spirits and the concept of genetic purity. Many kindreds believe that the essence of their ancestors lives on in their genetic code, guiding their evolution. Shapers often serve as both spiritual and scientific leaders, interpreting the will of these ancestral spirits through genetic divination. Their approach to death and burial is unique. The bodies of the deceased are often consumed by the kindred, ensuring that valuable genetic material is not lost. This practice, while shocking to outsiders, is seen as the ultimate honor, a final contribution to the collective evolution of the species. Education within their society focuses on honing innate abilities and understanding one's place in the evolutionary cycle. Young members undergo rigorous training, not just in combat and survival skills, but in the complex science of genetic assimilation. This education ensures that every individual is capable of making informed decisions about their own evolutionary path. The concept of beauty among their kind is intrinsically linked to evolutionary fitness. Physical features that demonstrate successful adaptations or rare genetic traits are highly prized. This aesthetic sensibility influences mate selection, with individuals possessing unique or beneficial mutations often rising to positions of prominence within the kindred. Their mercenary culture has given rise to a complex code of honor. While they are willing to fight for various employers, they maintain strict rules about genetic integrity. Contracts often include clauses specifying which types of enemies they are allowed to consume, ensuring that only beneficial traits are assimilated. Time is perceived differently in their culture, measured not in standard years but in evolutionary cycles. These cycles, determined by significant genetic changes within a kindred, can span generations. This long-term perspective influences their decision-making, with actions judged not just on immediate outcomes, but on their potential evolutionary impact. The treatment of genetic deviance within their society is a source of ongoing cultural debate. While traditionally such individuals were ostracized or culled, some progressive kindreds argue for the preservation of diverse genetic lines, seeing potential value in even seemingly detrimental mutations. Their interactions with other cultures have led to the development of unique diplomatic traditions. Emissaries are carefully chosen for their ability to adapt to alien environments and customs. These diplomats often undergo specific genetic modifications to enhance their effectiveness in cross-species negotiations. The concept of family extends beyond blood relations to encompass all members of a kindred sharing a common genetic lineage. This expanded definition of kinship fosters strong bonds within kindreds, while allowing for the easy integration of new members who demonstrate valuable genetic traits. Dietary taboos play a significant role in their culture. Certain prey species are considered off-limits due to the potential for negative genetic influences. These taboos vary between kindreds and are often based on historical experiences or the wisdom of shapers. Their approach to technology is deeply influenced by their biological focus. While they readily adopt useful tools and weapons, there is a cultural preference for solutions that can be integrated into their bodies through evolution. This has led to a unique form of biotechnological advancement that blurs the line between natural and artificial. Festivals and celebrations in their society often commemorate significant evolutionary milestones. These events feature displays of newly developed abilities, rituals of selective consumption, and competitions that test the effectiveness of recent adaptations. The role of shapers in their culture cannot be overstated. These individuals are revered not just as leaders, but as the guiding force of evolution itself. Young members of the kindred often aspire to join the ranks of shapers, viewing it as the pinnacle of cultural and evolutionary achievement. As they continue to spread across the galaxy, their culture evolves, incorporating elements from the diverse species they encounter. This cultural adaptation runs parallel to their biological evolution, ensuring that their society remains as dynamic and resilient as their physical forms. The path of rapid evolution is fraught with peril. Foremost among the challenges faced by these adaptive warriors is the risk of genetic instability. Uncontrolled assimilation of traits can lead to mutations that threaten the cohesion of entire kindreds. Shapers must constantly balance the pursuit of new adaptations with the need to maintain genetic integrity. Their mercenary lifestyle exposes them to a myriad of conflicts across the galaxy. While this provides opportunities for genetic diversity, it also places them in the crosshairs of numerous factions. Navigating the complex web of allegiances and enemies requires constant vigilance and adaptability. The Imperium of Man poses a significant threat to their expansion. Imperial xenophobia and the doctrine of human supremacy make coexistence difficult. Inquisitorial purges and Space Marine strike forces often target their enclaves, forcing them to develop new defensive adaptations or flee to uncharted regions of space. Their alliance with the Tau Empire, while beneficial, comes with its own set of challenges. The Tau's strict dietary regulations clash with their need for genetic assimilation through consumption. This cultural friction has led to tensions and, in some cases, open conflict between the allies. The ever-present threat of Tyranid invasion looms large in their collective consciousness. The hive mind's ability to adapt rivals their own, creating an evolutionary arms race that pushes both species to new extremes. Encounters with Tyranids often result in devastating losses, but also yield valuable genetic material for those who survive. Internal conflicts between kindreds are not uncommon. Disagreements over evolutionary paths or competition for limited resources can escalate into full-scale wars. These internecine struggles, while destructive, also serve as crucibles for rapid adaptation and the emergence of new traits. The corrupting influence of chaos presents a unique danger to their kind. Their adaptive nature makes them both resistant and vulnerable to chaotic corruption. Kindreds that consume chaos-tainted flesh risk falling under the sway of the ruinous powers, spawning aberrant offshoots that threaten the purity of their species. Environmental challenges push the limits of their adaptability. As they expand to new worlds, they encounter extreme conditions that test their evolutionary capabilities. From radiation-soaked death worlds to the vacuum of space, each new environment demands rapid and often painful adaptations. The scarcity of suitable genetic material in certain regions of space poses a significant challenge. Kindreds isolated from new sources of DNA face the risk of stagnation or even regression. This drives them to undertake dangerous expeditions into uncharted territories in search of fresh evolutionary catalysts. Technological advancement among other races threatens to outpace their biological evolution. The rapid development of weapons and defenses by species like the Tau and the Adeptus Mechanicus forces them to constantly seek new adaptations to remain competitive on the galactic stage. The emergence of psychic abilities within their population presents both opportunity and danger. As they begin to explore this new evolutionary frontier, they face the risks associated with untrained psychers, including demonic possession and the attraction of warp predators. Their mercenary nature sometimes leads to ethical dilemmas. Contracts may pit them against former allies or require them to fight for causes that conflict with their long-term interests. Balancing short-term gain with long-term evolutionary goals becomes an increasingly complex challenge. The loss of genetic diversity due to the extinction of prey species or the destruction of entire kindreds poses a long-term threat to their adaptability. Efforts to preserve and catalog genetic material become crucial, leading to conflicts over rare specimens and habitats. Interactions with advanced AI and machine intelligences challenge their biological-centric worldview. As they encounter species that have transcended organic limitations, they must reevaluate their own evolutionary path and consider the implications of synthetic augmentation. The discovery of ancient and powerful Xenos artifacts often leads to conflict, both internal and external. The potential evolutionary leaps offered by such technology must be weighed against the dangers of tampering with forces beyond their comprehension. Their reputation as mercenaries and genetic assimilators makes establishing permanent settlements difficult. Many species view their presence as a threat, leading to preemptive attacks on their colonies and forcing them into a nomadic existence. The temptation to consume forbidden or dangerous genetic material creates ongoing internal strife. Rogue elements within kindreds may seek to incorporate traits from species deemed too risky by shapers, potentially introducing destabilizing elements into their gene pool. As they expand their influence, they increasingly come into conflict with other mercenary groups and minor Xenos species competing for the same resources and contracts. These skirmishes, while often small in scale, can have far-reaching consequences for their position in the galactic power structure. The challenge of maintaining cultural identity in the face of rapid biological change is an ongoing struggle. As kindreds diverge and new adaptations emerge, the risk of fragmenting into distinct subspecies threatens the unity of their race. The ultimate challenge facing their species is the question of their final evolutionary destination. As they continue to adapt and change, the possibility of evolving beyond recognition or losing touch with their original nature becomes a philosophical and existential concern for shapers and warriors alike. Angkor Prok stands as a legendary figure among his kind, renowned for his unparalleled combat prowess and strategic genius. This veteran warrior's body bears the marks of countless battles and evolutionary leaps. His most notable feat was leading a small band of mercenaries against a Tyranid splinter fleet, not only emerging victorious, but also assimilating crucial adaptations that bolstered his kindred's resistance to bioweapons. Dayak Grech, the infamous tracker, gained notoriety for his ability to hunt prey across the most inhospitable environments. His body, a testament to extreme adaptation, allows him to survive in vacuum for short periods and resist intense radiation. Grech's services are highly sought after by rogue traders and inquisitors alike, though his true loyalties remain with his own evolutionary agenda. The shaper known as Aurek the Farsighted is revered for his ability to guide evolutionary paths with uncanny precision. Under his leadership, his kindred developed the ability to process and gain nutrients from inorganic matter, a crucial adaptation that allowed them to thrive in resource-poor environments. Aurek's teachings on controlled evolution have spread to numerous kindreds, shaping the future of their species. Karag the Marauder leads a notorious band of void-adapted warriors. His kindred has developed the ability to navigate through space without the need for ships, using bioengineered membranes to catch solar winds. Karag's raids on Imperial shipping lanes have earned him a sizable bounty, but his true value lies in the unique spacefaring adaptations he brings to his species. The enigmatic figure known only as the Whisperer has developed extraordinary psychic abilities, a rarity among their kind. Capable of communicating across vast distances and influencing the minds of other species, the Whisperer serves as both a diplomat and a spy. Their existence has sparked debate about the future psychic potential of the species. Yogoric the Render is a hulking example of evolutionary specialization. Standing twice the height of an average warrior, Gorik's body is a mass of muscle and bone, capable of going toe-to-toe with Space Marine Terminators. His kindred has focused on developing overwhelming physical strength, often serving as shock troops in the most brutal planetary assaults. Sinskra, the Chameleon Queen, leads a kindred that has perfected the art of biological camouflage. Her warriors can alter their skin color and texture to blend seamlessly with any environment. Sinskra's adaptations go beyond mere concealment. Her body can mimic the biochemical signatures of other species, allowing her to infiltrate even the most secure locations. The Shaper trio of Vex, Klex, and Zex are renowned for their mastery of accelerated evolution. These three brothers have developed techniques to induce rapid mutations in controlled environments. Their experiments, while controversial, have produced some of the most exotic and effective adaptations seen in recent history. Kracia, the Toxin Mistress, has evolved an internal biology capable of synthesizing a vast array of poisons and antitoxins. Her kindred specializes in chemical warfare, their bodies serving as living laboratories for the development of new biological weapons. Kracia's services are in high demand among those seeking untraceable and highly effective toxins. The warrior philosopher Grakur has gained fame for his unique perspective on their species' evolution. Combining combat prowess with intellectual insight, Grakur advocates for a more holistic approach to adaptation, emphasizing mental and cultural evolution alongside physical changes. His writings on evolutionary ethics have influenced shapers across numerous kindreds. Zoran the Fleshcrafter has pushed the boundaries of their species' adaptive capabilities. Through a combination of selective consumption and self-modification, Zoran can rapidly alter his own body to suit any combat situation. This extreme adaptability comes at a cost, with each transformation risking genetic instability. The twin shapers, Krill and Kroll, are known for their symbiotic adaptations. These siblings have evolved the ability to merge their bodies into a single, more powerful entity. Their research into cooperative evolution has opened new avenues for kindred-wide adaptations, challenging traditional notions of individual evolution. Noctal the Void Swimmer leads a kindred that has adapted to life in deep space. His body can withstand the vacuum and intense radiation of the void, allowing his warriors to stage daring raids on spacefaring vessels. Noctal's kindred represents a potential future where they are no longer bound to planetary environments. The Shaper, known as Eternal Hunger, has developed the ability to enter a state of suspended animation, slowing his aging process to near zero. This adaptation allows him to guide the evolution of his kindred over extraordinarily long periods, providing a level of continuity and long-term planning unprecedented in their history. Vixthra the Mind Eater has evolved the disturbing ability to absorb memories and skills directly from consumed brain matter. This adaptation has made her an invaluable asset in espionage and information gathering, but has also raised ethical concerns about the nature of consciousness and identity among her kind. The Berserker champion Kachaw embodies the peak of combat-focused evolution. His body is a living weapon, with bone blades, armored skin, and hyper-efficient musculature. Kachaw's genetic legacy has spawned a new breed of frontline shock troops, valued for their ferocity and resilience in close-quarters combat. Shaper Ormak the Farseer has developed limited precognitive abilities, allowing him to anticipate evolutionary challenges and guide his kindred's adaptations proactively. Ormak's visions have saved numerous kindreds from extinction, earning him a quasi-mythical status among his people. The mercenary leader Grixix-Sa has perfected the art of rapid battlefield adaptation. Her body can quickly develop resistances to enemy weapons and tactics mid-combat, making her a formidable and unpredictable opponent. Grixix's adaptive techniques have been widely studied and emulated by other kindreds. Genva, the Harmony Keeper, has evolved the ability to emit pheromones that can calm or enrage members of her species. This unique adaptation has made her a crucial mediator in inter-kindred conflicts and a powerful leader in coordinating large-scale military operations. The Shaper Corsaro is renowned for his mastery of genetic memory extraction. Through carefully controlled consumption rituals, he can access the accumulated knowledge of consumed species, greatly accelerating his kindred's technological and cultural advancement. These adaptive warriors serve as a dynamic element in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their presence adds layers of complexity to existing conflicts and introduces new narrative possibilities. Their ability to rapidly evolve in response to threats makes them unpredictable wildcards in any engagement. In campaign narratives, they often play the role of mercenaries or opportunistic scavengers. Their involvement can shift the balance of power in local conflicts, introducing an element of uncertainty to even well-planned military operations. Commanders must account for their adaptability when formulating strategies, as tactics that prove effective in initial encounters may become obsolete as they evolve countermeasures. Their unique biology provides rich storytelling opportunities. Plots can revolve around the hunt for rare genetic material, with various factions competing to secure valuable evolutionary templates. This creates narrative hooks for exploration missions, heists, and high-stakes battles over seemingly insignificant xenobiological samples. The internal conflicts within their society offer fertile ground for complex storylines. Rival kindreds may clash over evolutionary philosophies or access to limited resources, drawing other factions into their disputes. These internal struggles can serve as microcosms of larger galactic conflicts, highlighting themes of adaptation versus tradition. Their mercenary nature allows them to be inserted into a wide variety of scenarios. They can serve as unexpected allies, unreliable partners, or wildcards in multi-faction conflicts. This versatility enables storytellers to introduce plot twists and moral ambiguity into established narratives. The concept of evolutionary arms races becomes literal with their involvement. Long-term campaigns can showcase their gradual adaptation to recurring threats, forcing players and characters alike to constantly innovate in response. This dynamic encourages creative problem-solving and tactical flexibility. Their presence in a story often brings attention to environmental and ecological themes. Narratives can explore the impact of their rapid evolution on local ecosystems or the consequences of introducing their adaptive species to new worlds. This adds a layer of science fiction complexity to traditional military narratives. In gameplay terms, they offer unique mechanics that set them apart from other factions. Units can be customized between battles to represent evolutionary changes, allowing players to tailor their forces to counter specific threats. This adaptability encourages strategic thinking and rewards players who can anticipate their opponent's moves. Their focus on close combat and ambush tactics provides a counterpoint to the ranged warfare of many Warhammer 40,000 armies. This encourages diverse battlefield strategies and creates dynamic, multi-layered engagements where positioning and timing become crucial. The implementation of consumption mechanics adds a strategic layer to post-battle resolution. Players must decide which fallen enemies to consume, balancing the immediate need for regeneration with long-term evolutionary goals. This creates interesting risk-reward scenarios and encourages thoughtful play beyond the immediate battle. Their ability to absorb traits from defeated enemies can be represented through a gameplay system where units gain new abilities or stat improvements based on their victories. This creates a sense of progression and personalization, allowing players to develop unique and thematically appropriate forces over the course of a campaign. In narrative play, their presence can justify sudden changes in army composition or the introduction of new unit types. This flexibility allows for dynamic storytelling where the capabilities of the force can evolve in response to plot developments. Their role as mercenaries allows for interesting army composition rules in matched play. Detachments of their units might be included in a variety of army lists, representing their willingness to fight alongside different factions. This opens up new list-building possibilities and encourages creative army design. The visual distinctiveness of their evolved forms provides opportunities for unique modeling and painting projects. Players can create highly personalized armies that tell the story of their evolutionary journey through conversions and kitbashes. Their adaptability can be represented in missions and scenarios through special rules that allow them to alter their characteristics in response to battlefield conditions. This could include gaining resistances to weapons that have wounded them or developing new abilities to overcome battlefield obstacles. In campaign systems, they could have access to a unique tech tree or upgrade system based on genetic assimilation. Players might spend resources to unlock new evolutionary paths, allowing for deep customization and strategic decision-making between battles. Their presence in a narrative can highlight the theme of survival in the grim darkness of the far future. Stories can explore how their adaptability allows them to endure in a galaxy full of overwhelming threats, serving as a foil to the stagnation of the Imperium or the rigid caste system of the Tau. The philosophical implications of their rapid evolution can be explored in storylines that question the nature of humanity and the direction of sentient life in the galaxy. This adds intellectual depth to the setting, encouraging players to engage with the world beyond simple military conflicts. In multiplayer scenarios, their shifting allegiances can create dynamic and unpredictable game states. Rules could be implemented where their forces might switch sides mid-battle based on certain triggers, adding an element of diplomacy and betrayal to the game. The concept of shapers guiding evolution can be translated into a character progression system for narrative play. Player-controlled shaper characters might make decisions that affect the development of their entire army, creating a sense of overarching strategy and long-term consequences for choices made during the campaign. These adaptive warriors serve as a dynamic element in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Their presence adds layers of complexity to existing conflicts and introduces new narrative possibilities. Their ability to rapidly evolve in response to threats makes them unpredictable wildcards in any engagement. In campaign narratives, they often play the role of mercenaries or opportunistic scavengers. Their involvement can shift the balance of power in local conflicts, introducing an element of uncertainty to even well-planned military operations. Commanders must account for their adaptability when formulating strategies, as tactics that prove effective in initial encounters may become obsolete as they evolve countermeasures. Their unique biology provides rich storytelling opportunities. Plots can revolve around the hunt for rare genetic material, with various factions competing to secure valuable evolutionary templates. This creates narrative hooks for exploration missions, heists, and high-stakes battles over seemingly insignificant xenobiological samples. The internal conflicts within their society offer fertile ground for complex storylines. Rival kindreds may clash over evolutionary philosophies or access to limited resources, drawing other factions into their disputes. These internal struggles can serve as microcosms of larger galactic conflicts, highlighting themes of adaptation versus tradition. Their mercenary nature allows them to be inserted into a wide variety of scenarios. They can serve as unexpected allies, unreliable partners, or wildcards in multi-faction conflicts. This versatility enables storytellers to introduce plot twists and moral ambiguity into established narratives. The concept of evolutionary arms races becomes literal with their involvement. Long-term campaigns can showcase their gradual adaptation to recurring threats, forcing players and characters alike to constantly innovate in response. This dynamic encourages creative problem-solving and tactical flexibility. Their presence in a story often brings attention to environmental and ecological themes. Narratives can explore the impact of their rapid evolution on local ecosystems, or the consequences of introducing their adaptive species to new worlds. This adds a layer of science fiction complexity to traditional military narratives. In gameplay terms, they offer unique mechanics that set them apart from other factions. Units can be customized between battles to represent evolutionary changes, allowing players to tailor their forces to counter specific threats. This adaptability encourages strategic thinking and rewards players who can anticipate their opponent's moves. Their focus on close combat and ambush tactics provides a counterpoint to the ranged warfare of many Warhammer 40,000 armies. This encourages diverse battlefield strategies and creates dynamic, multi-layered engagements where positioning and timing become crucial. The implementation of consumption mechanics adds a strategic layer to post-battle resolution. Players must decide which fallen enemies to consume, balancing the immediate need for regeneration with long-term evolutionary goals. This creates interesting risk-reward scenarios and encourages thoughtful play beyond the immediate battle. Their ability to absorb traits from defeated enemies can be represented through a gameplay system where units gain new abilities or stat improvements based on their victories. This creates a sense of progression and personalization, allowing players to develop unique and thematically appropriate forces over the course of a campaign. In narrative play, their presence can justify sudden changes in army composition or the introduction of new unit types. This flexibility allows for dynamic storytelling, where the capabilities of the force can evolve in response to plot developments. Their role as mercenaries allows for interesting army composition rules in matched play. Detachments of their units might be included in a variety of army lists, representing their willingness to fight alongside different factions. This opens up new list-building possibilities and encourages creative army design. The visual distinctiveness of their evolved forms provides opportunities for unique modeling and painting projects. Players can create highly personalized armies that tell the story of their evolutionary journey through conversions and kitbashes. Their adaptability can be represented in missions and scenarios through special rules that allow them to alter their characteristics in response to battlefield conditions. This could include gaining resistances to weapons that have wounded them, or developing new abilities to overcome battlefield obstacles. In campaign systems, they could have access to a unique tech tree or upgrade system based on genetic assimilation. Players might spend resources to unlock new evolutionary paths, allowing for deep customization and strategic decision-making between battles. Their presence in a narrative can highlight the theme of survival in the grim darkness of the far future. Stories can explore how their adaptability allows them to endure in a galaxy full of overwhelming threats, serving as a foil to the stagnation of the Imperium or the rigid caste system of the Tau. The philosophical implications of their rapid evolution can be explored in storylines that question the nature of humanity and the direction of sentient life in the galaxy. This adds intellectual depth to the setting, encouraging players to engage with the world beyond simple military conflicts. In multiplayer scenarios, their shifting allegiances can create dynamic and unpredictable game states. Rules could be implemented where their forces might switch sides mid-battle based on certain triggers, adding an element of diplomacy and betrayal to the game. The concept of Shapers guiding evolution can be translated into a character progression system for narrative play. Player-controlled Shaper characters might make decisions that affect the development of their entire army, creating a sense of overarching strategy and long-term consequences for choices made during the campaign. The future of these adaptive warriors is as mutable as their own genetic code. Their potential for rapid evolution positions them as a rising power in the ever-shifting landscape of the 41st millennium. As galactic conflicts intensify, their ability to quickly adapt to new threats may prove to be their greatest asset. Expansion beyond their current territory seems inevitable. As they assimilate traits from a wider variety of species, they become better equipped to survive in diverse environments. This could lead to the colonization of worlds previously thought uninhabitable, from gas giants to the void of space itself. Their relationship with the Tau Empire stands at a crossroads. While the alliance has been mutually beneficial, growing tensions over cultural differences and evolutionary practices may lead to a schism. Some kindreds might seek complete independence, while others could integrate more deeply into Tau society, potentially influencing the Empire's own evolution. The development of psychic abilities among their population opens new evolutionary pathways. As these talents become more widespread, they could transition from a primarily physical species to one with significant warp presence. This shift would dramatically alter their role in the galaxy and their interactions with other psychically active races. Technological integration presents another avenue for advancement. Some forward-thinking kindreds are exploring ways to incorporate cybernetic enhancements into their biology. This melding of organic evolution and artificial augmentation could produce hybrid warriors capable of rivaling even space marines in combat prowess. Their mercenary activities provide opportunities for rapid information gathering and technological acquisition. As they assimilate knowledge from various factions, they may develop a unique technological base that combines elements from across the galaxy. This could position them as innovators in fields ranging from weaponry to space travel. The threat of the Tyranids continues to drive their evolution. Ongoing encounters with the Great Devourer push them to develop ever more potent biological weapons and defenses. This evolutionary arms race could result in strains capable of not just resisting, but actively countering Tyranid bioweapons. Expansion into new sectors of the galaxy may bring them into increased conflict with the Imperium of Man. As Imperial forces encounter more evolved and dangerous kindreds, the Imperium may be forced to reassess the threat level they pose. This could lead to larger-scale conflicts, potentially catalyzing rapid evolution on a species-wide level. Their adaptive nature makes them well-suited to exploit the shifting realities of a galaxy divided by the Great Rift. Kindreds that successfully navigate and adapt to warp-touched environments could gain significant advantages, possibly even developing ways to manipulate the warp for faster-than-light travel or communication. The accumulation of genetic material from countless species may eventually allow them to transcend their current limitations. Future generations could possess the ability to consciously control their own evolution, shifting forms at will to suit any environment or challenge. Their role in galactic politics may evolve from mere mercenaries to power brokers. As their adaptability makes them invaluable assets in various conflicts, They could leverage this position to secure territories, resources, and influence. This could lead to the formation of a loose confederacy of kindreds, united in pursuing the species' evolutionary goals. The development of more advanced genetic engineering techniques could allow them to create specialized subspecies for specific roles. This might include void-dwelling strains for space exploration, hyper-intelligent variants for scientific research, or diplomatic strains capable of mimicking other species for enhanced interaction. As they continue to absorb traits from psychically active species, they may develop a unique form of collective consciousness. This could manifest as a psychic network linking kindreds across the galaxy, allowing for unprecedented coordination and shared evolution. Their interactions with ancient Xenos artifacts and technology could lead to evolutionary leaps. Exposure to the advanced biotech of long-dead races or the reality-warping technologies of the Necrons could catalyze transformations beyond their current evolutionary projections. The ongoing exploration of the galaxy may lead to the discovery of lost kindreds that have evolved in isolation. These reunions could introduce radically different evolutionary paths back into the main population, sparking new phases of species-wide adaptation. Environmental pressures from colonizing extreme worlds could drive the development of entirely new biological systems. This might include the ability to photosynthesize energy, extract nutrients from inorganic matter, or survive in the vacuum of space without technology. Their adaptive immune systems may evolve to a point where they become virtually immune to disease. This resilience could position them as invaluable in combating pandemics or exploring plague worlds, further cementing their importance in galactic affairs. The philosophical implications of their continuous evolution may lead to the development of new schools of thought. These could range from ideologies focused on achieving evolutionary perfection to belief systems that view all consumption as a sacred act of species advancement. As they gather more knowledge about the nature of reality in the 40k universe, they may evolve beyond mere physical adaptation. Future generations could develop the ability to adapt to different laws of physics or even survive in alternate dimensions. The ultimate trajectory of their evolution remains unknown. They may remain recognizable as a distinct species, splinter into countless specialized subspecies, or evolve into something entirely beyond current comprehension. Whatever their fate, their capacity for adaptation ensures they will play a significant role in shaping the future of the galaxy.